The artwork that you'll create in Illustrator will primarily come from the pen tool, which I consider the real heart and soul of Adobe Illustrator. And it's this tool right here, and it works in a way that is different than you would think, as opposed to the brush, for example, where you click and drag your mouse to draw out a shape like this. The pen tool requires a lot of finesse, and it requires you to know exactly how to use this tool to create the shapes that you want. For example, I'll click one time and that's it. This guy right here is called a point, an anchor point. It in of itself does not print. It is nothing really but an indication as to where a line is going to start. And that line is called a path. Only when I move my mouse somewhere else, and by the way, I'm not dragging, I'm just simply moving my mouse and I click, do I get a printable structure. This is a path, and this is the line that will print out as the result of those 2 points. Now I know you're asking what points. Well, if I grab the white arrow known as the direct selection tool and I click on this path, you see we have 1 point and we have 2 points. The path in between these 2 points is the line. An easy way to think of it is this. Here is the first train station. Here is the second train station, which is your destination. And this is the path that you take to reach that destination. Now I'm going to delete this and start from the beginning. There are 2 ways to draw with this tool. As you saw earlier, when I click and move my mouse and click somewhere else, I create a straight line. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that again. I'll click, move my mouse, click, move my mouse, click, and continue to draw out a Z shape kind of thing. Now, how do I close this path? I have to move my mouse to the origin of this shape. And when I do that, I get a little circle icon under the pen that tells me this will close this path. I can now fill it with color and do whatever I like. I can change the size of the stroke, which is the outline here, and I can give it a fill color. Now, I'm going to get rid of that, the whole thing, and show you how to use the tool to draw curves. And this is where it gets tricky. I'm going to click, and I'm going to move my mouse over here, and I'm going to click and hold my mouse down and drag the mouse. This gives me a curve. And also this new thing here, which is called a handle with control points. If I grab the white arrow, once again the direct selection tool, I can then manipulate how this path is bent. And I'll talk more about that in upcoming lessons. For now, I just want you to know what that is. So we have a Bezier curve, and that's the kind of curve this is, a Bezier curve. And we have a control handle with 2 points here that we can control the bending of this curve, or the tangency of this curve. So as you see, Illustrator requires a lot of mathematics, and that's one of the main reasons it really requires almost no space compared to a Photoshop file when you create artwork in Illustrator, because the application keeps points in memory as far as what the position of the line is going to be. So it knows that this point is here and this point is here, and the resulting path is going to be in between those points in either a straight line or in a curve of some kind. So once again, we're going to cover more about how to edit these paths later on. So just to reiterate, to create a straight line, click, move your mouse, click. Now you have a straight line. I'm going to now show you how to draw a curve again. So I'm going to click, click, and drag. Or if I want to, I can click and drag here, and then click and drag here. And then I can control how that curve is going to be drawn. And once again, I'll spend much more time going over how to finesse these points so you know exactly the kind of shape you're going to get.